All right, we're back live. Last one froze, but I was asking you guys, how did you feel going into flexible eating? Were you skeptical? Were you just at a point in your life where you were ready to begin or try something? Where were you each?
So.
For me, I was definitely skeptical of what you were describing, being able to do on flexible eating. I thought you had really lost your mind. I thought there was absolutely no way that I was going to be able to eat pizza and eat ice cream and still find that I could lose weight and feel great and have great energy. However, I trust you, and I've known you for many years, so I was willing to give it a try and see if it would work, because we hadn't really tried much before. We haven't dieted a lot. We're not people who've done a lot of different kinds of nutrition programs or things like that. So this was, I think, really kind of our first real venture into really trying a program and really sticking with it. So.
What about you, Howie?
Well, I hadn't been thinking about it much, to be honest with you. I was happy doing what I was doing. Apparently, my wife wasn't happy with me doing what I was doing.
I didn't say that.
And
I never said that.
Sure. Not so many words. But no, she had sat through your phone call and she had said, she had tried to, she was like, oh, this is interesting. I think I sat on a little bit while you were like on speaker. And I sat on in the end, so I didn't really like get too much out of it. So then I sat in, like you had another one like the next week or 2 weeks later or something like that, probably the next week. And and I just like I sat in on that one on the phone, and I just figured she was doing it, so I figured it was just as easy for me to do it too.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's what they say.
That's true.
So
you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I would not know. What were your first? So you were a little skeptical because, like, as people are, like, can I eat this? Can I drink this? How is this possible? What were some of your first indications that maybe this was real?
After the first week, I had lost 6 pounds.
Wow. So you lost a third of the total weight you lost in a week.
In 1 week, yeah.
And that was, how different for both of you was the diet versus what you were currently doing?
We eat a lot more.
We eat a lot more.
So you guys are eating more food.
Like the first week, for instance, like the first few weeks, I've kind of got used to the diet now a little bit. So like the first few weeks, like it's like you wake up in the morning and you're just sick to your stomach. You're so full from the night before, and like you have to eat and you have to eat, and it's like, oh, I can't eat anything else. But it's like now I've kind of figured out like better ways to manage my food, that it's like I'm not sick eating all the time.
So you had to eat more. You had to almost eat to the point that you were sick to lose 32 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? What's your opinion of what's going on in your body when that's happening? Why do you think you were 30 pounds heavier, not losing weight, and now you're eating more and losing weight?
I don't know. I ask you some questions and your answers are always trust me. So I don't know. I don't know the science behind that stuff, and you're not explaining them. You just say trust me.
All right. So hey, you did, and it worked, I suppose. So eating more. What would you say about how much are you guys exercising?
So I exercise definitely more than Howie does, and so when I first started your program, I was exercising in a way that wasn't sustainable. I was working out 6 days a week. And after I joined the program and I started seeing weight loss, I reduced my exercise to be more sustainable. So I'm doing like 3 or 4 days a week.
And so like this diet, sustainable. So you lost weight with just 3 or 4 days, and a lot of people that watch this are CrossFitters, but you guys are just going to a normal gym, correct, and doing a workout?
I do Soul Cycle, and I've just recently started training for a half marathon, so I've been running.
Nice. And then Howie, other than chasing around 2, I don't know, are they toddlers at this point? Toddlers?
One is.
Yeah, one is.
Oh, and it's an infant still?
Yeah.
So chasing around
I don't
two
do
kids.
anything. Other than that, I don't do anything.
So you've lost 30-something pounds without even going to a gym.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't even have a membership or anything.
He doesn't have a membership anymore.
Not even a membership that I don't go to but pay for. I don't have a membership.
Don't you have like a lifetime Bally's membership?
Is Bally still in existence?
I don't know, but I remember you used to have that in college. Like,
That sounds familiar.
that's if that's not really just saying how awesome I am. I don't know what is. You've lost. To recap, Howie, he looks better. His wife is more attracted to him. He's lost 30-something pounds, having to eat more, and he doesn't work out.
That's about right.
I got the perfect life.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. So what are your weights right now? Where are you at now?
In terms of the actual just physical.
Yeah, what's your body weight?
126.
Awesome. And Howie, what are you?
158.
Wow. Were you even this light in college?
I don't know, probably. Who remembers that long ago?
So, and now let's talk about some other things. You guys have both enjoyed this, meaning eating and drinking. Howie drinks a little more than you, right, Jen?
Well, yeah, because I spend more time with the kids.
I guess so. Yeah.
So how often do you guys indulge in some beverages, in some alcoholic beverages?
At least a couple times a week, I would say.
Wow, I'm asking because these are things that you guys are just normal people. Normal
people working full time, raising 2 kids. We are not yet bought into CrossFit, although I do have my macro sister Pavi on a daily basis trying to convert me into a CrossFitter. We don't CrossFit. We're not high nutrition experts. We're just kind of day-to-day average people.
So you had also asked about like before we started this. So like before we started this, I was drinking a lot more, and I was just sitting on the couch drinking whatever 6 beers every time I was with the kids because that's what kids make you do.
That's what parents do.
And well, this is after they went to bed. And but now I drink. I drink kind of the same amount of days. I just drink like only 2 beers, and I apportion my carbs appropriately.
So tell everyone how you keep track of your alcohol then. I mean, I know how you do it. Just so people that are listening, you can explain it from a user standpoint.
I mean, I just take however many calories they are, and sometimes, it's hard to find the special type of beer I have or whatever, and just figure out what the number of calories in there and divide it by 4, and I use that as my carb number. What's
been the biggest chunk of carbs you've devoted in any single day to alcohol?
That's a great question. With that heavier beer, he likes this one beer that's 200 calories, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's like
50 carbs.
So 50 carbs.
And I only drink one of those a night.
But yeah.
You are willing to give up 50 grams of your carbs for one beer?
Have 2 kids. You will too.
But you could do a shot and have 25 carbs versus you just
so
really enjoy it. You enjoy that beer then?
Yeah.
Is it better than free beer at the Branch on Tuesday nights?
Nothing's better. Well, Branch is closed, but.
And what about you, Jen? What's a typical night of drinking? How many of your carbs?
Jen just found out the hard way that Bailey's has fat.
I saw you posted that in the Nation.
I posted that in the Nation because I was horrified when I figured out how many calories are in 1 ounce of Bailey's, and then realizing, if you go out for drinks or dinner and you get a Bailey's, you're probably having 3 or 4 servings in each glass that they give you. So just thinking about how many carbs I actually would just be drinking and not even including if we had food or anything that day. And so, yeah, but for me, for average, I don't really drink that much. And so if I drink, maybe 60 carbs worth of drinks, like that typically is kind of the maximum I can do.
I don't know if it's just you guys enjoy drinking or it's the kids, but I mean, I get 300 grams of carbs or more every day, which is substantially more than either of you. And I wouldn't be willing to give up 60 of them for alcohol.
It's worth it.
Oh, you have kids? You would.
You would.
It's the kids? Well, because I'm just thinking, wow, that's like 3 servings of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and you're just taking it for...
We don't do Pop-Tarts and we don't do cereal, but we do alcohol instead.
What was the hardest macro to get used to hitting?
Protein.
If you had to quantify it...
I still have to have every day a protein bar and a protein shake, basically.
What about you, Jen?
Protein was definitely the hardest. The easiest for me to go over was carbs.
So if you had to quantify protein intake, would you say what you were doing to now, what percentage? Is it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times more than you were doing?
Right. So when I looked at what I was doing before I started the diet in comparison to what I had to do once I was hitting my numbers, I was hitting 30% of my protein. I was eating 30% of what I should be eating that I eat now.
So over doubling the amount of protein you were eating.
Yeah.
What about for you, Howie?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've kind of, now it's like, I've kind of figured out, like, I've had the same kind of amount of protein because we kind of eat the same thing, obviously. I just eat more of it. But I figured out like how to like kind of space it out more evenly through the day. So now I have a better breakfast with more protein, and then lunch is more protein, so that dinner, and not every day, and I don't have to go crazy with the evening protein to just catch up and have like an 11 o'clock tuna out of the can.
So is that what was going on when you said you were full, or is it just a matter of learning when and how to eat your foods to not feel that way?
Probably, yeah, because we were doing that a lot, having tuna out of the can
at like 11 at night.
11 o'clock.
And we haven't done that in a while, which is a really good thing.
So when you were doing something like that, though, did you ever think to yourself, let me just not eat this?
No, we ate it.
We ate it.
But what was the driving factor there? Because did you still have that slight mentality of, well, this is less, so maybe I'll lose weight?
No, because I think we learned really early on that we had to be really close to the numbers for it to work. And so when we were under eating, we were eating a lot less before and gaining weight. So I think really early on, we kind of saw that eating more was a good thing for us, and we were losing weight as we were eating more.
So it just was a positive reinforcement, I suppose, to use your psychiatry terms.
To use my terms, yes. We were positively reinforced.
Now, how often are you guys getting complimented? Howie said he sees people. What about you, Jen? You go to a hospital a few days a week. What were people saying to you?
People are commenting definitely more now. They didn't really notice, I think, at the beginning. So they probably noticed once I had lost more like 10 pounds or so. And people are just commenting that I look younger, that I've definitely lost weight. What am I doing? And when I tell them what I'm doing, they think that I'm making it up. But I've actually had a number of people who have gotten on macro diet since they've seen my results.
And how do you guys do, I just am at a point where if someone doesn't believe me, I'm like, don't do it. I don't really care. But how do you guys, what do you tell people? They ask, and like here you're saying like, hey, you have to eat more, you have to drink a little bit of alcohol, and you'll lose 30 pounds. Like, what's your typical response when someone says, what are you doing?
Look at me. I mean, the proof is right here. I'm just saying, look at me. The proof is here. I mean, if you don't.
Oh no, did you freeze again? Hopefully not. We're gonna ride this one out, but great stories from Howie and Jen. And what's really cool, like we've said, is normal people living normal lives making amazing progress. So hopefully they're going to come back. We'll give them a moment. If not, we can conclude this, but texting me. No, they live in New York City, so you would think their technology would be decent. But clearly, wherever they live, it's not. But I'll let them wrap up. They probably got to go to bed. They have 2 kids. They're out drinking. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you learned a little bit.